Hi, good morning everybody. Thought I lost my connection there. Good morning, it's Norma here. Welcoming you to Wednesday morning slow flow. It is Wednesday, May the 12th if you're joining this live, so welcome to your day. It is a beautiful sunny morning here in Hamilton, and I hear that we're going to have warm weather, so isn't that nice to see the sun coming out. So I'm going to get started in a few moments. If you're joining at a later time, welcome as well. Great opportunity to join in this class if you can't join live to enjoy it later. So we are going to do a slow flow class today, so we will have some vinyasas, some flows thrown in there. But we're just going to take it a little bit quieter today. So hopefully, there's a mix for everybody to enjoy. So just a reminder to practice at your own level. I can't see you out there. If you want to take it up a notch and add some push-ups or whatever through your flows, welcome opportunity to do that. If you want to take it down a little bit to skip the flows and stay in Shavasana or Child's Pose or even your home bases down dog at any time, please do that. Remember, it's your practice. This is just an offering. So we're going to get started in Shavasana today. You do not need any extra props, but if there's anything that you like to take with you before we get started, blocks or a strap. We don't need a strap today, but I'm going to send a reminder at the end of class because I'd like to do some deeper leg stretches last week, so we'll talk about that so we prepare for next Wednesday. So make sure you have a comfortable surface for your practice. You've got some water handy, taking sips of water whenever you need that or want that. We're going to start in Shavasana today. So go ahead and get settled onto your back. I'm just going to sit up for another minute before we start officially at 7:30. Just taking these first few moments to arrive. So getting comfortable in your supine position, laying down in Shavasana. Taking these first few breaths to arrive. Making any movements that will let you get settled in this space. Feeling that support that your mat is giving to your shoulders, hips, back of your hips, back of your legs, your feet. Can you feel that support and that welcome home that your mat is offering you? And begin to arrive. Leaving any to-do lists for a later time. Know that this is your 45 minutes that you've carved out for yourself. And you don't have to be anything, you don't have to do anything, you just have to be when you unroll that mat. And know that you're safely held by this community that we've created, by your mat, by Mother Earth. And you can feel all the feels here. All the feels welcome. Let's take an inhale together. Exhale, open your mouth, sigh, let it all go. Do this again, inhaling. Exhaling, sigh, let it all go. Can you soften even more? Even more. And as you begin to take this time for yourself, can you bring your attention to your breath? And maybe imagining the inhales and going in through your nose, traveling through your throat, your chest, maybe it even goes into your belly. And then imagining that exhale. Can you soften even more? I wanted to talk about gratitude today. As they say, gratitude is the vitamin for the soul. So as we begin to arrive here and start our practice, can you maybe think of what you are grateful for? Is there a part of your body that you're grateful for, you're especially grateful for? And maybe just awareness to how you express gratitude, either to yourself or to others. And as we begin our movement practice and we have these moments of ease and fluidity, or maybe challenging, you can maybe think about that and find something that you may be grateful for, even in that moment. As we focus on our breath, we can find gratitude in that breath, allowing it to fill our body, our tissues, re-energize our oxygen in our blood. And knowing that on the way out, we can let things go and begin again. So bringing your attention to a breath now that travels in through your nose and goes out through your nose, just with that slight constriction in the back of your throat. Take this last moment, observing any areas in your body that may be calling attention this morning. Or maybe some gratitude for that awareness that an area may need some heightened support. And let's slowly begin to wake up our bodies, taking right ear to right shoulder, coming back to center, left ear to left shoulder, and back to center. One more time, each side, slow and steady, right ear, right shoulder. Back to center, and one more time left. Back to center. Stretching your arms long overhead, big stretch, toes pointing to the edges of your mat. Before taking your knees to chest and bringing your head and shoulders up, giving yourself a wee hug. Before allowing the head and shoulders come down and taking your knees here. Let's just draw circles with our knees. Slow and steady. Feel feeling that little massage that this is giving to your sacrum, your lower back. 3 one way, and then 3 the opposite way, changing nothing in your hips. Really focusing on that movement. Staying present. And when that's complete, bringing knees back into your chest before bringing them up, all the way up. Hands can be by your side. And let's just flex and point our feet. Waking our feet up. Keeping a slight bend to your knees. Before letting your feet come down to the mat. Rolling over onto one side and pushing yourself up to tabletop position. So setting that strong foundation in your tabletop position. We're going to change things up a little bit this morning. So setting our foundation for your tabletop, making sure your hands or fingertips are sprayed out wide, kind of like the suction cups of your finger are holding onto the mat. Toes can be flat on the mat on this one. And can you invite some movement here that transitions you from your table to a modified child's pose? Just pushing back slowly. Coming back up through your table, neutral spine. And breathing back into your child's pose. Getting a little movement in our shoulders here. Back to center. One more time. Pushing back to that child's pose variation. And let's add to that a variation of cat-cow. So as you travel down through your child's pose, can you lengthen your tail long behind you, maybe look up in that variation of cow. And then as you coil forward to your table, can you arch like that scary Halloween cat? Slow and steady till you get your rhythm. So going back into that cow posture, coiling up in your table, this modification of cat-cow. And if that doesn't feel okay, go back to our usual in the neutral table, warming up your spine, your choice. I like this version just to give more movement to your spine and maybe some authentication here to express yourself just a little bit differently with some movement. And if it doesn't feel okay, don't do it. When that feels complete, coming back to a neutral spine in your tabletop position. Taking your left leg long behind you, not sinking into your standing knee or your hands, making sure you have your balance here. You can lift that left foot up like you're standing on the wall behind you, your balancing table, feeling belly button to spine, engaging that core a little bit as we warm up. And if you want to challenge your balance even more, letting that right hand come up, stretching long in your arm, fingers splayed out wide, just allowing that connection still to the arm and your shoulder. Letting right hand come down, left knee comes down, and just wag your tail from side to side. Let's do that one more time, opposite side. Stretching right leg long behind you now. Getting that foundation, steadiness here, belly button to spine as you engage to lift up your right leg, long behind you like you're standing on that wall, not sinking into your hands, your ankles, your shoulders, your hands, your wrists, your shoulders. And if you want to challenge your balance without sinking in, letting that left arm come up now, engaging, ensuring that arm is still connected to your shoulder, allowing it to come back. Letting left hand come down, right knee meets left, and wag your tail from side to side. Nice job, guys. Taking our right foot forward, so we step into this low crescent lunge, making sure hips are forward. Can we edge our foot forward so you can feel length in that front of the left leg. Hand expression can come to heart. Or maybe you want to breathe your hands up here. Always an option to pad up your yoga mat if there's any issues with your knee. Letting hands come down, stretching that right foot long like you're stepping on the gas pedal, still ensuring we have a micro bend to that knee as we're still warming up. Can you inhale to lengthen and exhale, bending into your right leg. Pouring your heart forward, not rounding out your back. Dragging your right foot back, letting right knee meet left, and wag your tail one more time from side to side. Second side. Stepping our left foot forward now, coming up into that low crescent lunge, patting up that yoga mat on your right knee now if there's any issues there. Could we take our hands to our knees to gently find that sweet spot, letting our hips come forward, like headlights facing forward, hands can come to hips to engage that. And maybe hands come to your heart, or you can breathe them all the way up here. Slowly warming up our body, being gentle with ourselves. Letting hands come down. Stretching that left foot forward now. Left knee remains having a micro bend. Can we inhale to lengthen and exhale, pouring our heart over our left leg now, feeling that nice stretch in the back of our left leg. Remember, still breathe here. Before dragging that left foot back, taking palms down, letting left foot meet right. Maybe wagging your tail for one more brief moment there before resetting your hands, bending deeply into your knees as we lift our hips up and back to our first downward facing dog. So you may feel a little bit more length in your legs here as we've stretched a little bit before we found our first inversion. But once again, invitation to find what feels good here. Inviting any movement that your body may be craving. Lowering one heel and the other maybe. Or again, wagging that tail. Or maybe it's stillness that your body is craving here now. We all bend generously into our knees. Lifting our tails up high. And then engaging the heels, lowering the heels to the mat, pouring your heart forward. Did you get some length there in that little modification? Bending your knees, looking to the top of the mat. Can you travel there? You can take a big step, you can walk, or you can take a jump. Inhaling to lengthen, flat back. Exhale, pouring in before rising all the way up. And bringing hands to our center. Do this again, inhaling. Bring that all into your heart. One more time, inhaling, rising up. This time bowing over your soft knees. Inhale to lengthen, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to our first vinyasa. So honoring your body, high or low plank, always an option to come down to your knees, hugging elbows all the way down as you lower to your Chaturanga Dandasana, our yogi push-up. Hands coming in all the way to the mat. Taking our hands off our mat, they're outside our mat, forehead here. We're on tented fingers. Can you breathe your forehead and your chest up into just this little baby cobra? And exhaling, letting it come down. Doing this again, inhaling. And exhaling. One more, inhaling. And exhaling. Slowly warming up that upper part of our back, our shoulders. Letting our hands come back underneath our shoulders. Pushing yourself up through table or all the way through to your downward facing dog while we reset for 3 breaths. Can we take an inhale together? Exhale, sigh, let it all go. Bending your knees, looking to chop the mat. Can you travel there? Big step. Jump. Tippy toe. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, folding in before we rise. And bow over your soft knees. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step back. Chaturanga Dandasana. I'm going to stay on my toes now, but remember, honor your body. Breathing up through your cobras. You're warming up here. Tucking your toes, meeting in downward facing dog. It's a reminder that as we travel through those vinyasas, you might recognize Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A here, always an option to go back to your downward facing dog or staying in child's pose if that serves you better today. One more time through, bending your knees, looking to the top of your mat. Can you travel there? Flat back, folding in before rising, and bowing, lengthen, Chaturanga Dandasana. What serves you here? Meeting in downward facing dog. Can you breathe your right leg up behind you? Stack your hips, bending your right knee. Right hip stacks on top of left, having this little gentle opening in our right hip. Can we draw some circles with our knees again? Getting a different spot here than on our back. 3 one way, 3 the other. Before breathing back to 3-legged dog, looking to the top of your mat, coiling in stepping your right foot to the top of the mat or helping it there. Planting our left hand underneath our left shoulder, can we twist open to the right in this lunge twist? Uncoiling, letting right hand come down, pivoting on our left foot. So it's on the 45. Can you rise up into warrior two? Feeling that scissoring action in your legs as they work together to give you that stability and that strength. Tail is tucked. And allowing our arms to be like wings by our sides. Gaze is over your right middle finger. Can you bend a little deeper into that right knee? Still able to see the toes of your right foot. Nice adjustments, guys. Flipping our right hand, reach it up and back to exalted warrior. So nothing changes in your legs. Your left hand is stretching long down your thigh. Your gaze is now up to your right stretched hand. You can also take your left hand in a half bind here if that's in your practice. Letting hands come back to warrior two, just for a breath. Taking our right hand, bending at the elbow, coming down to the shelf of our right knee without sinking in to our side angle posture. Taking hand to hip to set our foundation, tails remains tucked. Can we breathe our left hand up. And if you want to invite some movement here, you can make some circles with your shoulder, your hand, just making sure that your gaze follows that movement. And it's slow and steady. And only do this if it changes nothing in the foundation of your legs or your breath. Resetting when those circles are complete if you chose to do your circles. Nice job, guys. Letting left hand come down, pivoting onto our back foot here. Can you drag your left heel all the way up till it comes off the ground? Setting up for our warrior three posture here. So if you can arrange your fingers and tented fingers on the floor, maybe you have a block handy that maybe gives you some extension to that ground. Foot is flexed like you're standing on the wall behind you. One line, long line from forehead to toe. If you want to challenge your balance, maybe you take your hands away just for a minute, even if that's just for a sec. Or maybe if you're feeling stable here, you can take your hands to heart center, or maybe even fly. Lots of options. Honor your body. Maybe finding a moment of gratitude if you're able to do something in this posture that you're not normally able to. Or also gratitude that, you know what, this isn't my jam this morning. Honor your body. Letting hands come down if you were balancing there. Left foot meets right. And we can just shake our hips from side to side. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhale, can we sit back in our chair? Nice job, guys. Letting that go. Inhaling to lengthen, flattening your hands, and you've got it. We're going to throw a vinyasa in here. Knowing that if that's not serving you, Please settle into child's pose or downward facing dog. 3 breaths to reset. Nice job, guys. Can we inhale together? Exhale, sigh, let it all go. Can we breathe our left leg up this time? Bending your knees, stacking your hips. And if you did circles on the other side, please do those again so we feel balanced. 3 one way, 3 the other way. And that's complete. Breathing left leg long behind you again. Looking forward, coiling in, stepping or helping that left foot to the top of your mat. Leaving our right hand down, stacking our wrist underneath our shoulders. Can we open up to the left side of the mat now with this lunge twist? I'm going to change my direction so you can see me on this side. Uncoiling, letting left hand come down, pivoting on your right foot now that it's opening like the number 11 to the short edge of your mat, coming up to your warrior 2 on second side. Letting that strengthen your legs, scissor together, getting your balance. Letting those shoulders fall if they've crept up at all. Finding softness here. Gaze is over your left middle finger this time. Flipping our palm, reaching up and back, exalt your warrior. So your right hand's long down your thigh. We've not lost that bend in our left knee, excuse me. You can take that to that half bind if that's in your practice. Unraveling your bind if you're there, coming back through warrior 2 just for a moment as we bend into that left elbow this time, making that shelf from our left knee without sinking in. Can you breathe your right hand up and open? And if you did the circles on the other side, you can go there, making sure your gaze is following you. Sweet fluid movements here. Coming back to center. Letting our hands come down, pivoting on our back toe. You know where we're going, so we're going to crawl our fingers forward. That right leg comes off the ground, like we're standing in the floor behind us, or the wall behind us, excuse me. So one side can be completely and then the other. Be grateful that we have that awareness. Find some gratitude here in where you're going to express this posture on second side. So up on tented fingers, maybe a blocker or pillow is handy. Just think of that one long line of your spine. And also, did you want to just challenge yourself a little bit here, if that feels okay? And maybe you can fly. What serves you? Can you find gratitude in anything in this posture? Before letting your hands come down, right foot meets left, and wagging your tail from side to side. Nice job, guys. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling, sitting back in that chair one more time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Letting it all go. Maybe taking your feet as wide as the edges of your mat, bending generously into your knees, and just sitting here in ragdoll just for a moment. Just letting anything go that may have come up. Maybe nodding your head yes, or shaking your head no. Letting any tension go over your neck here. Before heel toeing back in. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling, going through your last flow, or meeting in child's pose, because that's where we're going to be. Very nice practice, guys. Taking a sip of water. Taking this moment of ease in your child's pose. Checking in on everybody's doing okay. So this home base of child's pose is something that may be a challenging pose for you if you have anything tight in your hips, as I do. So you can always bring a bolster, a block with you, maybe to bring the ground a little bit closer to you. Maybe opening your legs out wide and inviting your hips as close to the ground as you can. So taking 10 more breaths here. Finding some gratitude in this posture. Maybe you're grateful for this few moments just to breathe. And this may be the thing that you're grateful for, is these opportunities to have the rest after that work. And maybe taking that off your mat to give yourself permission to have rest after working as well. When you're ready, pushing yourself up. I'm going to go up to downward facing dog just for a moment. For our final posture before we go down to our Shavasana, I thought we'd go into pigeon today. So if pigeon's not something that you feel comfortable in, I'm going to give some variations. Always an option to go down to your back now and go to finger 4, thread the needle onto your body. For those who are going into pigeon, can you take your right leg long behind you, curling in, bending your right knee to your elbow as close as it can, letting your leg come down and maybe helping it so it has that number 4 position on your mat. So this could be your expression of your pigeon. You're feeling that in your hip here. That's great. Stay here. Your left leg's long behind you, toes pointed. If you want to come down deeper into this posture, and if it's in your practice, maybe you come down onto your elbows. Or maybe you have a block or a bolster handy. And if you have the space, you can come all the way down to the mat. If that hip is far off the ground and you want to give it to some support, you can also offer a blanket or something under your hip. So can we settle here for 15 breaths? Wherever you are. holding these postures just a little bit longer in a more yin way to end our practice. Lets us get more into the fascia, into these postures, giving it some length. Sending breath there. Anything's calling for attention, send the breath there. If anything hurts, please come out of the posture. If it's that you're becoming uncomfortable, can you come back to your breath? And maybe sit in that discomfort just for a few breaths and to see if you can breathe through it. For 10 more. That's a pretty long 15 breath, isn't it? More. Beautiful, guys. Be gentle with yourself coming out. Pushing yourself up. Taking left knee to meet, right knee to meet left. Wagging your tail up. Doing windshield wipers if you're on your backs before coming back to your downward facing dog. And maybe just walking your dog out or doing those windshield wipers if you're on your back. Feeling that difference in the hip that we stretch there. And preparing for second side. Breathing your left leg up this time. Taking left knee to left elbow as close as it can before coming down. Engaging your leg. So that's that number 4. Cross your mat, the short edge of your mat. Right leg's long behind you. Maybe you want to squiggle it back just to get a little deeper into the posture if that feels okay. So you can stay here. Or maybe come down to your forearms or a block or a pillow. Once again, if you want to put something underneath your left hip this time, if it's really high off the ground, you can go there. Ensuring nothing is hurting. If anything's hurting, please take a different variation of the posture. If you've got that spot where it is a little bit uncomfortable versus pain, can we settle here? And use the breath to bring ourselves back to our practice. And settle and surrender here. Finding gratitude in something here. More breaths. Letting yourself come out, being gentle with your body, Dragging left knee to meet right before wiping our tail from side to side. And finding our way down onto our backs. And maybe just windshield wiper for a few moments, just from side to side. Before finding that final resting posture, your Shavasana. Maybe you want to be in reclined bound ankle here. Supta Baddha Konasana. Left hand on heart, right hand on belly. Feeling that spaciousness in your hips. And if you're feeling like, okay, enough with the hips, and you want to go into a traditional corpse pose, please go there. Enjoying this last few minutes of rest and restoration. Knowing the sound of my voice will bring you back when the time is right. Slowly bringing your awareness back to your breath now, back into your body. If you have extra time and you want to stay in your Shavasana, please do so. If you need to get on with your day, inviting small movements to your body here to slowly wake up. Maybe inviting right ear to right shoulder, like we did in the beginning. And then left ear. Before bringing your hands up and overhead. And bringing your knees into your chest. Rolling over to one side or the other. Where we'll meet in a seat. Hands come to heart center. We bow our heads. This bowing of our heads is a gesture of humility, of connection, of acknowledgement, which also allows us to slow down, to recognize, and to listen. So maybe with that, noticing any changes in your body, your heart, or your mind that your practice may have brought for you. Thanking yourself for taking this 45 minutes to come to your mat and to honor your body and to explore gratitude this morning. It is my wish for you to find compassion and gratitude for your own journey, for your strength, and for your any struggles that you may be happening today. Know that we have created this community and you are safely held here. And we wish you well on your journey. The love and the light in my heart bows to the love and the light in your heart. Namaste. Have beautiful days, guys. Looking forward to seeing you once again next time. And if you are joining next week, if you can bring a strap, if you have a strap or a tie or a belt, we'll just get deeper into some leg stretches next week. So till then, I'll see you. Have a great day. I'm grateful for you all.